Okay, well, welcome back, coaches. So we have gone through a couple things already in the previous videos. You've learned how to get a Wufoo account, how to actually create a form in Wufoo, and then how to set up the STATurday form in Wufoo the proper way for it to work with Rhonda's sheet. And then we have learned how to export from Wufoo, and we have learned how to actually set up or get all of the preliminary things that you need to have done inside of the Rhonda Excel template. So now we're going to take that export file that we did before, or actually I've used a export file that includes all of the entries for the last weekend of the June 2015 challenge. And so I'm going to use that form to actually do the work to update my sheet so I can see which team won for this last challenge, or at least which team had the highest fit score in the final days of this challenge. And so we shall see how that goes. Okay. So now that we have done the export is actually inside of my folder called STATurday June 27th. And so I'm going to go into here and open my export. And again, we've checked all of me and the support coaches that I have checked all of the pictures and non-existent pictures inside of Wufoo already. So when I get this export, I'm really just putting it in the sheet and doing what I have to do with it. Okay. So I've downloaded I saved it in Google Drive, so I'm just going to open it again so you can see it. Okay. So I actually have two of these open, so I need to close one. Let me go ahead and close this one, and let's go to this one. Okay, so this has, if we scroll all the way down, this has 310 entries in it. And what you want to do with this file first is let's go ahead and open the other file that we'll need, that we're going to copy this information over. So I'm just going to use the form that I had from week 3 and update that week 3 Excel file, the template that Rhonda created for me and that I've been using, and take it from there. So I'm going to go back to Google Drive and go to STATurdays, and then week 3 here. So I'm going to open up the week 3 file, and I'm going to download that. And I'm going to open it. Okay, and enable editing. And what I'm going to do, just to make sure that anything that I do to it will be saved, I'm going to do File, Save As on my computer somewhere. So I'm going to save this as my week 4 and put it into my F folder. So June 2015, week 4, save. So now this file is saved on my computer, and then I will upload it back to Google Drive once I'm done with it. So if you go to week 4, final results, you will see that the week 0 is already populated here, so you can see who the biggest loser was. It's not going to take week 3. It's actually taking the week 0. See, week 0 and week 4. Great thing about this sheet, Rhonda really did her thing with this sheet. So it takes a lot of the guesswork and you having to figure out what stuff goes where. So the week 0 is already populated in the week 4 final results tab. So now what I'm going to do is I am going to go back to the summary tab, actually back to the download tab, because I need to copy the week 4 numbers over here. So I'm going to go all the way down to the bottom where there isn't any more. And 260 is the final entry for week 3. So if we go back to our download file, 261 should actually be the next one, and it should be the very first entry for week 4. So let's go and see. And if we go to 261 here and we go over to the column, oh, actually, Tamra added her stuff late. So we'll go ahead and put 261 in there. So she added her stuff late. So all I'm going to do is I'm actually pointing into row 261, and I'm going to drag my mouse all the way over and copy from 261 down to the last entry. So I'm dragging it, holding it, right click on it, hit copy, select copy. You'll see it starts to do a little funky little thing there. I'm going back to my worksheet. I'm pointing my mouse into the column A, cell A239. I'm right clicking and I'm going to click paste. And then it just added all of the information in there for me. Okay, it's real simple, cut and paste, real easy. So now what we want to do is we want all of the names to be in column C. So I'm just going to copy the names from column D over, and that's only because we have a couple of groups, but you should only have one group, so you won't have to do this. But the fact that I'm doing this for 2 groups, I have to copy the second group's names over to column C so it'll read properly in the rest of the form. So I'm copying all of these names that are over here over into column C. A quick way to do copy is Control C and then paste Control V, just to let you know if you don't want to use your mouse. All right, so if I scroll up, if I roll up, all of the names now are in column C. All right. Next thing you want to do is check for issues where people put in letters, or they put in, like, for 28.5 inch, they put in 28 1/2. It should, if you do that, it'll mess up your calculations. So I see here that Tracy put in 30.12 IN, and that IN will mess up my form. So I'm going to go ahead and remove that IN from all of her entries. These are little things that will mess up your calculations in this sheet. So I'm just going to go in and take those INs out. I have a couple of people who I know are just infamous for putting in letters or the half, the / for half instead of a decimal place. Everything in here needs to be in decimal places. So I'm going through and I'm looking, and look, I noticed that Janice doesn't have any pictures attached to this. So that means that she can't win anything because we requested pictures. Tia is missing a scale picture. But then everything else seems to be okay. So now that the downloaded information is actually into this download sheet, when we go to the summary tab and we go down to column entry 261, that starts, this one was week 3, so I'm going to go ahead and put week 3 here. But from 262 on down is week 4. So I'm going to put WK4 because that populates the week 4 sheet. I'm going to copy this, Control C, and then drag my mouse down and click Control V. And that just puts week 4 in all of them. Now, as you can see, we have an issue here. The name isn't popping up for entry 302. So looks like I forgot to copy that one over. Yep. So see, Margot was over here, but she's not in C. So I'm just going to copy her name over. And then when we go back, that issue is fixed. And before, when I showed you the sheet before, these columns show the weight, chest, hip, left arm, right arm, waist, left thigh, right thigh, and then columns O and P gives you the lesser of the arms and thighs. There's a formula in there that calculates that for you, and then it adds all the inches up over here in column Q. So see, I didn't have to do anything. All I did was just put the information from Wufoo that I downloaded. I copied it over into the download tab, and it worked. That's how it happened. So I didn't do anything other than that. What I'm correcting now, I see that some people chose the wrong weeks, and so I'm making sure that I update the weeks. Actually, I need to go back here, and it looks like it's Lila and Camilla. They have week 4 in there, so I'm going to go back and do Lila week 4 and Camilla week 4. Okay, so now if we go back to the summary tab, see, it picked it up. It picked up my change. So now that we've put this WK4 into the summary tab, if we go back to our week 4 final results, we will see that it populated all this information for me. Now, the NAs that you see are because these people did not enter their measurements. So I'm just going to put no measurements, can't win. And I checked all of these before, so I know that these people didn't have their measurements in. So she's one. Wanda couldn't make it. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put 159.5 and 244.5. She had health issues, so I know she wasn't going to be submitting. This one, she is an infamous not submitter, so I'm going to put a note on this one that she didn't submit. She didn't submit. I know she didn't submit. And I know she didn't submit. Brandy didn't submit. Oh, actually, she dropped in week 3. And she dropped as well. And she dropped. Tahisha, no measurements, can't win. Codeine, no measurements, can't win. And so you just go through, put notes on these just so you know what's going on. Leandria. Oh, she dropped. Okay. So now that that's all done, we are good. If these were NAs, like say Tamara did submit something and she, you notice she made a submission, then that means that there's something wrong on one of the, either the download sheet or the summary sheet. So you need to go back and check and see what's going on. I'm going to put a note on Janice that she can't win either because we don't have pictures for her. So I'm going to go back to the week 4 tab and put a note on Janice because we didn't get pictures for her. So I'm going to find Janice here. Can't win, no final picture. Okay, so that is pretty much it. that is how you copy the information over from your Wufoo download to the STATurday Excel template that Rhonda created. So the next and final video for me will be how to create the winner tab. And that's pretty simple after you've done all this work. Okay, so see you in the next video.